But here in Milwaukee, it feels like it's been a minute. It feels like it's been a lot of gray, overcast,
I mean, probably within the last week, there's been one day where I'm like, oh, I'm driving around. I got to reach for the sunglasses. Because especially during, and now it's been warm, so all the snow is gone. But when you're driving around in the winter and that sun comes out and it's just glaring off of all of the snow piles everywhere, sunglasses are almost required at that point.
Will you golf this weekend, Gabe?
I doubt it.
What would it take? Dryness or warmth?
Combination of both. Both.
How do you stay sharp in the winter? Do you just do a lot of X golf?
Oh, yeah, X golf.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm there. I've got a league, and then I usually play another time.
How similar is that, though, to being actually out on the...
It's not the... I mean, it keeps your swing loose, I guess is the best way to put it. It certainly makes a difference playing golf at a place like X Golf. Check them out, Brookfield and in Mequon, or inside the ballpark, American Family Field. But you're always hitting off a flat, perfect line.
Right.
And that's just not how.
That's what Dario says as well.
Yeah, it's just not how golf works.
So he prefers to go outside. We're near Missing Links in Mequon. He prefers to go outside whenever possible, just because it is grass. It's so it's more. To your point, authentic. Chu, do you remember? Not to bring up bad stuff or old stuff, but this is a bad old thing. Do you remember when Chewy got in trouble from?
Gonna have to be more specific.
Yeah. How far are we going back here?
Okay,
Is this with the wife?
So,
Do you remember when the Packers were playing the 49ers? And you were talking about the physicality between the two teams, and you were talking about how if you can intimidate the quarterback, is not the worst thing in the world, right? And it was interpreted as, oh, this guy has a bounty, this guy wants to hurt players, this guy blah, 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 right? And that swirled around for, a full month or so, right, Gabe?
Oh, yeah, Richard Sherman, because Richard Sherman's got a perfect, clean record in the NFL. Richard Sherman was coming after the big guy on social media, saying this has no place in the game, even though the only thing Chewy said was basically play to the whistle, and if playing to the whistle gets you a 15-yard penalty, then so be it, because that was the mentality they had back in 1995 when they went into San Francisco and won.
I would argue that I think it's sort of the mentality that they have today. They maybe just don't say the quiet part out loud, right? When you talk to these guys who play the NFL at the highest level, they're looking for any advantage possible, right? You guys always talk about how they're grabbing junk at the bottom of piles. That still happens, right? Even though it might be perceived by the general masses as not the most sportsmanlike approach to the game.
Chew, you ever grab anybody's junk at the bottom of a pile?
No, but I pinched. I pinched. A lot of weird stuff.
Like on the tricep? Where did you pinch?
Wherever you can. Because when you get into those piles, and I know they changed the rule a little bit where you can't dive in after the fact, but back then you can. The rule of thumb was one guy, whoever has the ball, one guy take one arm, one guy take the other arm, and just try to pull it apart.
Mm-hmm.
What, his torso?
But there's some dirty stuff that goes
Yeah.
There's some dirty stuff that goes on there, but it's funny you mentioned that because someone sent me a Twitter clip yesterday because I didn't realize yesterday was whatever year anniversary of when we beat San Francisco in San Francisco. We were 10-point dogs, which I did not realize we were that big of dogs. And they showed the clip, and the majority of it was defense. Holy cow, we had a good defense. I mean, you talk about flying around. If you have a chance to watch that clip, it was so good.
I did watch that clip, Chewy.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
But wasn't that – it was just flying around, and there was just a level of intimidation that San Francisco wasn't ready for. Because San Francisco, we looked at them as kind of a wine and cheese team, you know. They were more of a ballet, and we played that game more like a mosh pit.
So that was, as a kid growing up, that was the game, Chew, that I learned about the 5-yard bump rule. That you could, have that physicality within 5 yards because that's what you guys did to the tight ends of San Francisco. I just distinctly remember that from a kid, like that's all anybody talked about for the next week was how physical you guys were, and you had that 5 yards that you could be physical as receivers getting out in the route, and that's what you guys did, and that's what kind of helped lead to the victory.
So I bring it up because, Chu, there's been a little bit of a conversation that is emerging from the Packers locker room regarding the hit on Jordan Love the last time the Bears and Packers played. Take a listen to this.
But I know, a lot of the guys took that hit that he took a little personal, So I'm not saying we're going to go out there and play dirty or nothing like that, but we definitely going to defend our brothers.
And Gabe, how do you read Josh Jacobs saying we're not going to play dirty, we're going to defend him? We recognize that hit came in this game, and oh boy, watch out.
I mean, but what are you going to do? Like, I don't think that, if Baron Sorrell gets, unblocked off the edge, that he's going to be thinking, oh, I have to lower my helmet and hit, Caleb Williams with the crown. I don't know how to interpret that. Especially when you're going up against, like, if you're talking about trying to get revenge against Caleb Williams, like, you just got to worry about getting Caleb to the ground because of the athleticism. You start worrying about too many other things, and that's when he's just going to, pirouette and spin away from you and get out of the pocket. So I think it's a good thing to say, but I don't know how much of an impact it actually can have.
The playoffs are different, though. I mean, during the regular season, there is kind of a brotherhood, and, you don't want to hurt people. But when you get to the playoffs, you want to send messages. And I think what Josh is saying, and I mean, the rules have changed so much since I played, but if a D lineman or someone's blitzing, and I think what he's saying is if that's the case and it's legal, I don't know if it is or not, I'm going low. I'm going low because you know what low does? Low sends a message. Low sends a message, not fronting them up. And I'm sorry, in the playoffs, when it's sudden death, you do, within the rules, whatever it takes to get the job done.
So that's interesting, Chu, because you have talked about that brotherhood and that, when Holmgren would want you guys to cut block, go low on teams.
Sure.
You're like, I don't really feel good about that. Now, apparently against the Vikings, you had no problem doing it. But would that also then go out the window during the playoffs?
Depending on the other team. Okay. I can tell you this. I can remember a handful of times because we looked at Dallas as dirty, their offensive line, and we looked at Denver as dirty, just based upon who they were coached by. And I can remember specifically, and I don't know if you remember this, Gabe, but Yurko, the rule of thumb when it comes to brotherhood, and I'm sure this is the rule. Now, you cannot cut a guy a gap and a half removed.
Gap and a half removed, yep.
That's a brother, okay? It was within the rules, but as a brotherhood, you're not supposed to cut a guy a gap and a half removed. And they did that to Yurko. And I specifically remember Reggie coming over to us in the offensive line say, cut those guys, you do whatever it takes. And that's the mentality you have to have. You play within the rules, but you play to the whistle, and you do whatever it takes to get the job done.
Well, and look, and I think as we prepare ourselves for Bears-Packers on Saturday, the game is probably going to be chippy. That's just sort of the emotion now, the way the Bears have ascended, and obviously the Packers have dominated them in recent years. But the Bears fans certainly think that the tide is turning. This game is going to have an added layer of emotion, certainly, guarantee it. But I think what Josh Jacobs is saying is we saw it, we recognize it, we got our guys back, and you're right. They're going to play to the whistle. They're going to send a message to that Bears team, and I think people should be prepared for that. The other layer of it, and I think this is really interesting, is the insight it gives you into the locker room, right? As you wonder about where Jordan Love stands and how he is, perceived by his teammates, this is a very clear indication that the guys around him, particularly on that offense, Gabe, think he's the guy, know he's the guy, have his back, because in other franchises where it's a little suspect about what's going on behind center, you don't have guys like this the week of a Bears-Packers game saying something like this to defend their guy. You just don't.
Always having teammates' backs, I think, is the quickest way, not even just to your teammates' heart, but to a fan base's heart. Chu, you tell me, in that locker room, having somebody else's back, but oh, now I'm blanking on the guy's name. Bennett. When Bennett came here, and obviously that ended like horribly when Martellus Bennett came here. And, everybody was excited about it. I mean, he ended up again, getting cut in the middle of the season. But there was a play early. Like Rodgers took a hit late, after he got into the end zone, and Bennett came flying over and lit the guy up, took the 15-yard penalty, and every Packers fan everywhere went, yep, this is our guy. He's got Rodgers back. I love this dude. He's got his back. I mean, I'm guessing in the locker room it's probably something similar, but as a Packers fan, I just remember that play and going, oh, yeah, I love Bennett until, he, stopped showing up and became a turd. But that's beside the point of, in that moment, I remember being so excited, we've got this guy who's going to have our quarterbacks back.
It was the Josh Sitton, TJ Lang thing.
Yes.
If Rodgers ever went down even in a somewhat suspect way, sometimes not even, those guys were there and they were mauling the person in front of them. And if you remember, not long ago, was it on the sideline where Jordan Love went down and then, was it Hufanga pushed his head down?
Yeah.
And no one reacted. And it seems like there is now a message amongst them hey, we can't be punked like that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point by you, Josh, because folks in the Carbless Talk and Text line and folks on the YouTube stream are referencing that as well. From Sean, I think Jacobs was referring to the fact that last game, the O-line showed no reaction when Love got that hit. And maybe that is something. Maybe Josh Jacobs is like, hey, guys, don't forget, when something like that happens, it's our job to remind the opposing team we don't take that crap.
But is that
where it all starts?
But that could also be. I mean, not having Jordan's back in that situation could also be not having enough veterans on this team. Knowing that, and B, having the security. Because you mentioned Sitton and Lang. I mentioned Martellus Bennett.
100%.
Those were guys who were confident.
Long in the tooth.
And A, who they were, and B, they're standing on the team.
Correct.
When you're rotating at guard at different points in the season, when Jordan Morgan's out there trying to show that he can, be a right tackle or be a left tackle and do all these different things, when you're not secure in that role, getting that 15-yard penalty, the coach is going to react differently if it was...
It's Zach Tom's job.
Yeah, exactly. And Zach Tom
Josh
wasn't
Jacobs,
out there.
too.
Yeah. But Zach Tom wasn't out there.
It all starts with one position group. Just one. All starts with the offensive line. Doesn't start with the defensive line. Doesn't start with linebackers. It starts with the offensive line, because I played with a guy that, he brought it up to that line. Frankie Winters.
Sometimes he crossed that
line. Up to that line, but then he had guys that followed. He had guys. That's why I wish Elton Jenkins was playing guard, because if you remember in the preseason 2 years ago, him getting in fights, and I'm not saying you have to get in fights, but he set the tone.
He's got a little of that chippiness.
Because what you want to do is when you play like that as an offensive line, and you play to the whistle, and you're picking piles and stuff like that, the defensive line and the defenders get distracted by that. They're more worried about payback and dominating you at the offensive line than tackling the running back. So it's twofold. It sets the tone, and it gets them distracted. And that's how Alonzo Spellman, that's how I'd play against him. That guy, if I went ahead, would kill me. I mean, he was a freak of nature, but he was dumb as a box of rocks, and I knew how to play him. I got him distracted out of his game to where he didn't know what his assignments were. And that's kind of what it is. The offensive line has to set the tone here. Well, that's true, Gabe.
I think Gabe is making
I'm just trying to picture you outsmarting someone.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think, Gabe, you're making a really salient point, though, because this goes back to what has been Goody's priority when building this roster. He wants to have a young team, and he has succeeded in that, having the youngest team. Is it 3 years running now? Is it 2 years running? I know, every year guys get older and whatnot, but he has certainly been one of the youngest teams in the league for the last few years. When you do that, one of the unintended consequences may be what you're saying, which is when you get into a situation like this, where guys who are longer in the tooth, where guys who have been around, maybe even played on other teams, and see how you're supposed to handle a situation like that, aren't there, you don't know. Right? And maybe it takes a guy like Josh Jacobs, who, again, has been around a little bit and reminds everybody, hey, when our quarterback takes a hit like that, you got to jump to his defense right away. And we plan on doing so if it happens again this weekend.
Or you're Sean Ryan, who's never really played center before. You got a lot of things going on in your mind, I'm guessing, if you're playing center. And, you're focused on a lot of different things instead of, hey, where's my quarterback? Is he okay? Right? And to Chewy's point, like Elton Jenkins, I think that's maybe where he's probably missed the most, especially at guard.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he probably had some of the similar things going through his head, having not played center for an extended period of time and making that switch and doing all those different things. Whereas that guard, I mean, second nature to this dude at that point.
Let me ask a question. Did that defender for the Bears get fined for the hit on Love?
He got fined. He got fined twice because he had both the roughing the passer penalties against Jordan Love in that game. So he got fined for both hits. Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you definitely use that as ammunition as a dirty hit.
Josh Jacobs says a lot of people took the hit on Love personally, that from the last time the Bears and Packers played. What's your reaction to it? What does it say about Jordan Love and how a veteran like Jacobs feels about him headed into a do-or-die win-or-go-home game against the Bears this weekend? Still a lot of stuff to break down about this matchup. We will continue to do so. I still want to talk about Diggs and if you want him out there on the field this weekend in the secondary. All that and more, plus Jason Wilde coming up next right here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We got a few accidents to deal with right now. First of all, 794 eastbound right at the ramp from Broadway off on the right shoulder, so watch out for that. Another one on 4394 southbound at Howard Avenue on the left shoulder. And then one more on westbound 94 at Moreland Road. That's off on the left shoulder as well. Now, as far as delays are concerned, we got backups from about 27th Street through the stadium interchange. You're back on the brakes from before Moreland Road all the way to about Barker Road. Eastbound's got some delays from Springdale Road to Barker Road. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, increasing clouds, mild and breezy. Afternoon rain likely, a high of 51. Tonight, scattered rain, isolated thunder with mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions as well, low of 37. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Nobody should be writing the season off. The idea of being one of the top teams without two of your best players is a big reach. But this is a season that you can find ways to do it.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
You think anybody ever feels sorry for the Green Bay Packers? They don't. And they shouldn't. And you shouldn't.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S. And they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care switched from a previous vendor to business technology from James Imaging Systems. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. It's not just all about the money. We're getting value here as well.
Robert Prang, CIO at Tri-City National Bank, likes the fact that James Imaging is local.
So being able to work with a local company like James that has that flexibility with their staff and being able to deliver for us has given us the ability to make the right decisions for our organization.
And Junior Achievement of Wisconsin VP of Enterprise Services, Lori Salzman, had this advice for others.
If anybody is looking for a good partner that is there to help find solutions, call James Imaging.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
It's a new year, and everyone's talking resolutions. Eat better, move more, give up everything fun. Yeah, Carbless says you don't have to do that part, because when you reach for a Carbless, you're choosing a better-for-you cocktail. With 0 carbs, 0 sugar, only 100 calories, and full of flavor, you can stay on track with your New Year's resolutions without having to commit to dry January. Start 2026 with balance, not guilt. Your goals matter, and your fun does too. Carbless, your New Year's first good decision.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush, Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered with fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel. Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde is brought to you by Lakeland Supply. Lakeland Supply is in business to make your business better. Set up a free packaging and supply chain assessment at lakelandsupply.com. Exterior Pros. Ready to tackle your home improvement project? Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Visit extpros.com. Also brought to you by Century Foods. Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
We always appreciate Jason Wilde taking time out of his busy schedule to chat with us about the green and gold. Good morning, Jason. How you doing today?
Good, everybody. How are you?
Good. So you were there yesterday at 12:65, so I'm going to defer to you. Your biggest takeaway out of Green Bay yesterday headed into this game against the Bears.
We'll see you guys next week.
That's what Hafley said, right?
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty good walk-off. I'm not sure I've seen many of those from press conferences over the last X number of years. He banged the podium and everything. I don't know if he's doing head coach auditions or he's just that fired up. But I'm telling you, man, there is, with the way Xavier McKinney behaved when I asked him a simple question about where he thinks the defense is at, the good and the bad, and then that, and then Josh Jacobs and kind of his vibe. I think this is a pretty confident bunch and a pretty motivated bunch. And that doesn't matter until you actually do it. But it really it's an interesting vibe right now with those guys. I'll tell you that.
Let's hear from Jeff Hafley for people who might not have heard it yesterday.
Everything that I have been a part of here, from Goody to Ed to Matt, it's just been like, what a blessing to be here for me and my family. So I appreciate that, and we are not going to be done. So I will see you guys next week.
Oh, well, and the emphatic sound effect from the Packers website really sends it home, huh, Jason? Boom!
Yeah, I thought Josh added that in there so it sounded like a superhero or something.
We call that sound design in the biz.
Why would he do that, though, Jason? To me, that was just foolish. It's bulletin board material.
Grumpy old man.
No, I'm just saying, because I've been conditioned with Holmgren, you don't say stuff like that. I mean, you can say it behind closed doors, but I wouldn't have done that.
Wait. So what's the bulletin board material? Football coach thinks his team can win a football game?
No, we will see you. He pretty much guaranteed a win.
Well, he didn't guarantee, but he's got the confidence to win.
When he says, I will see you next week,
yeah,
that's pretty much guaranteeing a win.
Sure. I mean, if having confidence to win a football game is bulletin board material, then fine.
And when I say
let it be.
See you tomorrow, I guarantee I'll be here tomorrow. You're reading into it a little. I hear what you're saying, Chu. You don't want to give the team any advantage, any bulletin board material. But I think more people interpret it the way Jason did, which is this is a confident bunch. And I think you'd prefer that versus the alternative, right?
Well, I hope I see you next week.
Fingers crossed.
I'd like to interject here if I may. And again, I hate doing this. I really don't appreciate you guys putting me in this position. But I think Chewy's got a valid point. Now, here's the thing. Can you put in? By the way, Josh, can you get those sound effects for when I say things like that? So there's like this whoosh at the end of it.
Boom.
You are definitely conditioned by Holmgren because, like, somebody posted clips from NFL Films of you guys beating San Francisco because I think yesterday was like the 30th anniversary or something like that. And there's Holmgren on the sideline telling you guys to not get cocky and everything else. And like, so he obviously conditioned you that way. Now, the pushback that I would give you is that they are playing one arrogant mofo in Ben Johnson, right?
Yes.
Like that, comparatively speaking, that was amateur hour, the way Ben Johnson behaves. So, I mean, but I will admit, I had the same thought as after he banged I was like, whoa, that was awesome. Whoa, I don't know if I would have done that. So I am not going to be dismissive of you. I mean, I am oftentimes, but not here. But I don't think it's like if there's a scale of bulletin board quality material, I do think it's pretty low. But to your point,
Jason, you will agree that Ben Johnson is going to use that.
I'm sure he is.
And Matt
sure
LaFleur will use a litany of the things Ben Johnson has said.
Sure.
Well, right, and that was going to be my point, is that, like, this is the fact of the matter is this is going to come down to who's going to execute better, not who called us a bunch of cream puffs. But you are right. I had the same thought. I would also add this: it is clear, going back to kind of the vibe around the building, it is clear to me that they are confident, and I also felt like there were a bunch of guys trying to hold it in. And this was almost like Jeff Hafley kind of in front of the entire world, or at least in front of the camera in the media auditorium, kind of saying, hey, it's okay to be confident. Because it is weird. Like they feel muted to me. And that probably came from Matt, because Matt is definitely not Ben Johnson. My favorite of the week so far was when, I tried to, trick him into saying something about what a jackwagon Ben Johnson is, when I just asked him, hey, what is your approach in these press conferences? I know it's your favorite part of your day. And his answer was, of course, very Matt LaFleur. I try to be as transparent as I can be, and I try to be as honest as I can be without hurting our football team. Ben Johnson, he uses that podium for a variety of reasons. And I just get the sense that these guys are ultra motivated because they think they kicked one away, 20-some days ago, and they think they're the better team, and they expect to play like it on Saturday night.
So with that, Jason, you referenced the quote that Josh Jacobs had about how they took note of the hit that knocked Jordan out, and obviously that player from the Bears was fined. And, hey, we've got our guys back. And in the first segment, we were talking about how when hits like that used to happen to Aaron Rodgers, whether it was Martellus Bennett when he had kind of fooled everybody that he had everybody's back, or whether it was Sitton or TJ Lang, guys like that would usually have something to say about it. Is one of the effects of having as young of a team as they have, especially on the offensive line, and they rotate guys through, and job security isn't the finest, does that result in those guys not wanting to step up and maybe risking a 15-yard penalty with their coach because they're not sure of their standing because they're young?
Yeah, that could be the reason. I will say this. I've known Adam Stenovich since he was a player here, being mentored by the great Mark Tauscher during training camp 2006. I don't know if I've ever pissed off Steno more than when Bill Huber and I went in on. I mean, I thought there were valid questions, but like there's an AP photo, because now I put together my stories on channel3000.com, and I have AP photo access, so I have to go in and look for photos to put with the story and this and that. And I'll tell you this, man, there's a photo of Jordan Love laying on the turf still, and all the offensive linemen standing around having a cafe clutch. And I know that they care about Jordan. I know all that. But the optics are poor. And it was noticeable. I mean, I was at the game, which doesn't happen very often when the team is on the road these days in my career. And I was surprised. And Bill and I were both kind of trying to, get Steno to, and Bill, to his credit, had asked LaFleur earlier that day as well after the Bears game, like, don't you want your guys to be a little more belligerent with the dude? Like, you're not – I understand, and you just said it. Like, there's a fine line between defending your guy and getting a 15-yard penalty that puts you in a compromised position as an offense. But there is – I think of T.J. Lang. He's the first one I think of. Like, he was their enforcer. Like, Frankie would not have allowed somebody to get away with doing that to Brett Favre, right? And so I think there's a way to stand up for your guy without getting the penalty. Like, don't punch the guy, but, like, grab him by the shirt collar like Holmgren did with Billy Schrader and say, hey, man, that ain't cool, and I'm going to kick your keister. I mean, I would use stronger words, but not on the radio.
I remember it incorrectly, but I thought Holmgren grabbed a little bit higher, and that would have been a 15-yard penalty if you do it to another player.
I think he got some cloth along with his trachea, but yeah, I mean, so my point is that I do think that's a valid criticism, and I mean, I never ended up writing that story just because I never really got any players to kind of acknowledge that, hey, we need to be, but they did. That was the discussion. So if that happens again, I will be fully expecting there to be a reaction from those guys.
Because it seems like that could have been a job for Zach Tom or Elton Jenkins. But obviously Elton's out for the year. Zach Tom missed that game. So now you're just
Elton Jenkins. Yeah, Elton Jenkins for sure. Elton Jenkins probably is getting a 15-yard penalty.
Jason, Trayvon Diggs played 33 snaps against the Vikings. I think generally speaking, people were happy with his solid start for the Packers. How do you see his role growing? What are they saying about whether or not they'll be working him in? Will he start against the Bears this weekend? What do you think?
Great question. And also a throwback to when I used to do First Take before it became a hot take show, when Dana Jacobson would ask me, what are they saying up there? That is a total ESPN question. Isn't that what they coach like the Sports Center anchors to ask?
I mean,
maybe.
That was it's been a minute since I was in the Sports Center space. So if I did do that subconsciously, it was absolutely like excavating it from the depths of my archives.
Yeah, Jay Crawford. So what are they saying? They're saying that they really like where he's at and how quickly he got up to speed. What they are not saying, Jen, is whether or not he's going to start. Because, and Gabe and I think we talked about this at some point, like they benched Carrington Valentine in the Baltimore game, right? Like he had another one of his bad tackling moments, and so they wanted someone more physical, so they brought in Kamal Haddon, who was very physical to the point that he suffered a grotesque ankle injury and is now on injured reserve. Now, I don't know if they're still, because they also held Carrington Valentine out, right? He did not play at all in the Minnesota game. So I don't know where he's kind of at in the pecking order. Like, are they really going to play Diggs over him? Are they going to rotate them? Because I know Gabe loves the rotations that they do. I don't know, but they clearly want him to be ready to be part of something, but I don't know exactly what that's going to look like at this point.
Jason, will Malik Willis be the backup?
Yes, he is. He is. The Lord has healed him. He's good to go, apparently. So I can tell you this, Clayton Tune won't.
No, he's gone. He gone.
One other question.
I mean, can we? Wait a minute. All right, go ahead, because I know you might forget you might forget your question. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Even though he's a peripheral player, he's an important peripheral player. Is Bo Melton going to be able to go?
No, he's on injured reserve now, and
so he won't be
again,
able to go.
I know that would be a no. Yeah. Hey.
He was just testing you, Jason. He was just making sure that you knew the latest, right?
Yeah.
He knew. He just wanted to make sure you also knew.
Exactly. Yes, for sure. He's playing 4D chess, no doubt about it. So they only put him on IR yesterday, in fairness to you, and I can see how that one would slip past the goalie, so it's okay.
Well, you were sitting there going, not only can't Chewy remember, he can't read.
No,
well, it's not that you can't read. You just choose not to read. There's a big difference.
Yeah. I know another guy like that. So anyway, I do like and I know one of the favorite parlor games of Packers fans is, God, I hate Rich Bisaccia, but they have now lost some pretty important pieces of their special teams group, right? He gets hurt making a ridiculous play, by the way, on a Daniel Whelan punt. They're without Zane Anderson, who's a crucial piece of what they do. They lost Christian Welch. He's on IR with an ankle injury. So the special teams, I am curious to see how they perform, because some of those guys that got called up just to play in a game where they didn't want to play anybody, some of those guys are going to be playing on special teams. So, and that's a really good returner that the Bears have. So that is a sneaky concern there for this game.
Our conversation with Jason Wilde brought to you by Lakeland Supply. They're in business to make your business better. Set up a free packaging and supply chain assessment at lakelandsupply.com. I know he's been a part of the staff, but I saw that Nathaniel Hackett was walking around at practice yesterday, Jason. Does that mean the Gold Zone is back?
That's funny. Jordan Love was asked exactly that. He still works with the defense, not with the offense, but I don't know if they've tried to rename it again. Look, their execution in the Broncos game and the Bears game was pitiful. I mean, they just can't be that bad. And I would think that if he's in the building, while you certainly don't want to be usurping other people's authority, it's not the worst thing in the world to ask, hey, do you have any ideas here? Because that's true. Like, as hokey as that was, they were really good in the Gold Zone. Of course, they also had a dude win the MVP 2 of those years as their quarterback. So maybe it wasn't Nathaniel Hackett that made them so good.
Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. We will talk to you again very soon, like tomorrow.
You know the amazing irony? Of this? Is that now I forgot what I was going to say when I let Chewy go.
God bless America. I was going to say this, though. You said earlier in our conversation, you were like, Gabe and I talked about this at some point, and I was like, man, given the number of times that you and Gabe converse on any given show, on these airwaves and others, there's no way we're going to be able to nail down when you two discussed that, when you had that conversation, right?
Yeah, no, definitely not. But again, I am glad that everybody allows me onto their show. But it is the one thing that I struggle with is I don't want to be repetitive, and I'm always worried about, oh God, how many times am I reusing this? Because I want our fans to get fresh material, and I don't want to give them. I don't want to sound like I don't know how stand-up comics deliver their routines and they sound like it's the first time they're telling that joke. They're so good at that, and I'm so bad, but you guys are late and I'm babbling. So you guys take care. Be good.
He's Jason. Oh, yes! Joshy! That was amazing!
Well done, sir.
Hat tip for you. And if you missed why that was funny, you can go back and listen to the
earlier part of it
segment here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on our ESPN Wisconsin app in the Jason Wilde section. All right, we'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot more to get to. Stick around.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are getting spicy out there. 794 eastbound, right at the ramp from Broadway, there's an accident. Now the right lane is blocked as they're trying to get this thing cleared. So do be prepared if you're anywhere near the Lincoln Memorial Drive interchange there. Just be extra careful. We've got a crash 4394 southbound at the ramp from Howard Avenue, still being worked on. We've also got one on westbound 94 at Moreland Road. This is off on the left shoulder. It's enough to be a bit of a distraction as you're going around that curve. So definitely seeing delays past that scene. On the eastbound side, we got backups from before Springdale Road all the way past Barker. Back on the brakes from 84th Street to about Hawley Road. Westbound also slowing down from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds, mild and breezy. Afternoon rain likely, a high of 51. Tonight, scattered rain or isolated thunder showers, mostly cloudy and breezy, a low of 37. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior Pros and Baths. New year, new home, done right.
Hey y'all, it's the Rocket Roger Clemens here. Spent a lot of time pitching heat. Years later, the pain in my joints remind me of those days, but I'm not looking to sit still, and I definitely am not interested in going under the knife. That's why I chose QC Kinetics.
Not just for elite retired athletes. QC Kinetics gives everyday folks joint pain relief using regenerative treatments that work with your body to help repair joint damage.
No surgery, no long recovery, whether it's your knees, hips, shoulders, or back. My friends at QC Kinetics will help you get moving again so you can get back to doing the things you love.
QC Kinetics medical professionals will look at your x-rays or MRI to determine if you're a good candidate.
I trusted QC Kinetics to help me feel like myself again, and I'm proud to recommend them to you.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
Basketball fans, watch DME Academy on the campus of St. John's Northwestern Academy in Delafield this Friday and Saturday. See high-flying Wisconsin recruit LaTravian Fenderson, 7-foot recruit Bull One Rock, and 6'10" Trev Rodemaker. This is elite high school hoops. Youth coaches, bring your teams to see DME Academy basketball. DME plays Friday night at 7 and Saturday at 4 p.m. with free admission on the campus of St. John's Northwestern Academy in Delafield. Be there this Friday and Saturday for DME Academy basketball.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How do you get to 10 in NFL in the football game? How do you do that?
You can have 5 safeties.
That's a great point. Which would also be a great endorsement for Derek Carr.
2 field goals, 2 safeties.
2 field goals, 2
also
safeties.
a great endorsement for the quarterback. Continue.
Yes.
What else do we have?
On 94.5 ESPN.
So we just talked to Jason Wilde about Trayvon Diggs. And as we mentioned, he played 33 snaps against the Vikings. And I think generally speaking, people thought he did okay. Nice debut, I think is the way that some people have phrased it. So, Gabe, I ask you this. Based on what you have seen from the other cornerbacks, based on how we feel like it is still a deficiency of this team, generally speaking again, do you want Trayvon Diggs to get significant playing time in a win-or-go-home game against the Bears this weekend?
I don't think it matters if I want to or not. I think he's going to. Because they depending upon, I guess, how you categorize Javon Bullard, because he's been the nickel most of the season. I mean, after Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon, he's next in line. And how many times, Chew, are you going through a game with just two guys at the outside corners playing 100% of the snaps? I'm guessing it's not that often, especially when one of them is Carrington Valentine, who has struggled with his tackling over the last handful of weeks. And if the weather ends up playing a factor, I don't know if it's going to snow or not, if it's going to snow earlier in the day, if it's going to start during the game, whatever it's going to do down there in Chicago. Either way, the Bears are going to want to run the football. So you're probably going to need somebody to step up and make some tackles from that cornerback position. And Trayvon Diggs, despite struggling this year, that's putting it nicely, in coverage, he's a better tackler than Carrington Valentine. So I think he's going to be getting significant snaps. I just think that's the way it is because they had grown tired of Carrington Valentine and the lack of tackling, which is why they put Kamal Hadden in, which is how Hadden got hurt in the Baltimore game. So I think because he is cornerback 3 right now, he's going to see some snaps.
Yeah, he'll be the Malik Heath of the defense. Malik Heath being the best blocker of all the receivers.
Pouring out from Malik Heath.
Yeah, I think
it's not on the roster.
You definitely want him in running situations, but his coverage skills are average at best. You know, I mean, everyone likes to look to his two all-pro seasons, but he's a shadow of that now.
4 years ago, man.
Was it 4 years ago?
Yeah,
he also couldn't cover that.
I would almost say Valentine's a better cover corner.
I mean, Valentine is a better cover corner, but also, like, if he's good at intercepting, I'm cool with that because the Packers are not good at intercepting.
I believe his first year, he led the league in touchdowns given up and in interceptions.
Sick. Sick. That's such a sick thing.
But he
to lead in both.
He does come up there and fill though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he is an aggressive player.
That was immediately
which I
obvious.
like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was so obvious.
Well, but it's interesting because I am seeing online one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Because Dallas Cowboy fans are laughing today and were after the game at how excited Packers fans were about Trayvon Diggs' contributions because they were like, are you kidding me? Like, this guy is still hot garbage. Again, this is from Cowboys fans. In fact, there's an article out there on a Cowboys blog that says Packers fans have tricked themselves into thinking ex-Cowboy cornerback Trayvon Diggs is good again. And there's a part of me that is also like, have we been that thirsty for competent play at cornerback that a guy like Trayvon Diggs, who we know has shown, it's out there on the field, it's out there on film, that he can be underwhelming? Are we doing the thing where because it's been so lousy, we're like just excited at the prospect of change?
I think it's one of those things where if you want to be positive, like Chewy said he wanted to be on Monday, you talk yourself into it, right? Because, again, he's going to play. Like it's not like an option, right? When they brought in Chewy, you compared him to Isaiah Simmons when they brought in the former first-round pick and gave him a look in training camp and ultimately went, we can do better than this. We appreciate you coming in. The athleticism's there, but it just doesn't work out. Like the athleticism, I think, is still pretty much there for Trayvon Diggs. I think you see that. It's just the cover skills aren't, as Josh pointed out, maybe they were covered up by all the interceptions he had early in his career.
I also think a change of scenery can change a lot for a guy. And whatever happened in Dallas, he was clearly unhappy with whatever the situation there was with ownership and how he was getting playing time. So even if he's not former all-pro level, he's clearly can be better than one of the worst corners in the league.
But I'm going to tell you this. They better be on alert. Because Ben Johnson is a smart coach, and he's going to force them into a cover 3 coverage, and I can just smell it, a toss, pitch, pass, where they're pitching maybe to the short side of the field. Diggs, who is aggressive, is going to come up, and that safety better be prepared, because like I said, I can just smell something like that happening with Ben Johnson.
But also, I think, Chew, it's tough to just go, okay, he's a better tackler, so he can play on, like, first down. Well, the Bears are going to throw the ball on first down too, right? Like,
No,
it's
I
not-
know.
it's-
I'm
it's-
just
you know what
saying.
I'm saying? Like, I just having him out there. I don't know when the best times to have him out there are. Like, I mean, if
Yeah.
it's second and 2.
But his aggressiveness, and they watched the film, Gabe. I love his aggressiveness, and he comes flying up when he believes it's run. I'm just saying, I hope Hafley's like, hey, when we're in a cover 3, because we're forced to be into a cover 3, just look out. Just be careful, because that's the garbage that the Bears do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, and
To get
Ben Johnson loves his trick plays too. Like
Sure.
he's done.
Yeah.
How many times did he run a trick play even this year in Detroit? Like it's just
Yeah.
that's part of the Ben Johnson offense. Is they ran the play that he stole from the Packers basically when the quarterback accidentally fell down. He decided to run it with his quarterback fake falling down with Jared Goff last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think we also have to push this through this prism, push the argument through this prism. They were going up against the Vikings. It's J.J. McCarthy. It's Max Brosmer. They're not the best. They're not the most elite quarterbacks out there. But I do think that, to your point, Gabe, if he is going to be out there, which you think he is going to be just from a sheer numbers standpoint, what he put on the field could get you excited about him being able to make contributions, be productive against the Bears this weekend.
I want to clean up something that you just said, just in case any Vikings executives are listening. J.J. McCarthy is the best. He is fantastic, probably your quarterback of the future. You don't want to let him go. You want to hold on to that guy for a long time. Success is going to follow. I promise. Just got to be patient and ride it out.
Right, exactly. I know that right now it doesn't look great, but I very much believe that he is the future of that franchise, and so you absolutely should not pivot and go in another direction.
Correct.
Did I read you loud and clear there?
Yeah, okay. I'm glad we're on the same page again.
Great. All right. Let us know if you were excited about what Trayvon Diggs on the field against the Vikings, if you think he can be a difference maker for the Green Bay Packers as they make this playoff push. Something exciting is happening at St. Kate, the Arts Hotel. It's on the second floor. It's the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. And look, you can go in the morning, you can go in the afternoon, you can go in the evening. They've got drinks that are for every single mood. It's the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social at the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails. It's now on the second floor at St. Kate, the Arts Hotel.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN. On this show, it's always football season.
So now Jeff Hafley's going to have to get more creative. Everybody will have to bow up and do things. And the main guy is Jordan Love.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
This went from a defensive-led team to now Jordan Love. Put him on your back. You're going to have to get the cape out.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Why Z-Bart? Because you don't want rust holes in your expensive vehicle. Let Z-Bart keep the rust away with professional rust protection. Only at Z-Bart.
As of right now, there's 7 head coaching vacancies in the NFL following the conclusion of the NFL regular season. A popular name to fill one of those slots, Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, who told reporters Wednesday, as of right now, it's all about the green and gold, at least until the season comes to a close.
I'm just honored to be in those. I think right now with all that stuff, it can be a distraction, so I'm trying to lock in on these playoffs and do the best that we can, and then whenever that time comes, we'll figure it out and go from there.
For this week, Hafley's focused on slowing down what was the NFL's 3rd best rushing offense in the regular season in the Chicago Bears.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Do you want your car to shine like a diamond? Then you need Z-Gloss from Z-Bart. Z-Gloss gives you a mirror finish and protects your paint from everything Mother Nature can throw at it with a 10-year guarantee. Visit zbart.com for more information.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Smalls here. Life is full of choices, some big, some small. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the largest network of tax expertise to be in your corner. For when your big ambitions need help with the small details. For when your 6 figures come from 6 different places. For when your gaming stream becomes your revenue stream. For when your business's year 1 needs 70 years of tax know-how. At H&R Block, they've seen it all. And they're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box.
When you're injured, you want quick, specialized care, not a long ER wait. The orthopedic care specialists at Ortho ASAP treat fractures, sprains, strains, sports injuries, and more right away. With on-site x-rays and expert care, Ortho ASAP gets you back on track faster. Open 7 days a week with locations in Brookfield and Pewaukee, it's more affordable than the ER. Walk in, get treated, and get back to life. Ortho ASAP. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What we need is a chart. And every week, we take the shirtless picture of Chew, and we move that to wherever the prediction is of how many wins that they have.
8, 6,
7.
7. I think that's how it goes now, right?
8,
and they lost, and
7, 5, 3, 0, 9.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Did you know that the Packers have never lost 3 straight playoff games in franchise history?
I did not know that.
Lost each of the last 2 playoff games, but have never lost 3 straight playoff games. So they got that going for them, which is nice. Chewy, yesterday you told a great story about your son's banana hammock and how it came back to haunt you.
I don't know. Banana hammock and great could be in the same sentence. It's disturbing. It's very disturbing.
And it's funny that the FBI portion is not even the lead of that story.
That FBI agents had pictures of Chewy's son in a banana hammock.
That's such an afterthought. You're right. It got me thinking, and folks that were listening as well, how close are we to getting the suit story?
Suit.
Could you just ask?
No.
Softening.
You ask for forgiveness, not permission.
See, here's the deal. I'm up to 3 weddings this year. So I think the more use I get out of it should lessen the blow.
Yeah,
What kind
fair.
of blow would there be?
Yeah.
Why is there a blow?
What type of blow?
Well, it taught me a lesson.
Well, what lesson is that? Why would there be a lesson to be learned?
You should really look at how much things cost. That's the lesson.
If you had to expand on that, what would you say?
I screwed up. I screwed up bad. I mean, I really screwed up.
So a couple of weeks ago, you decided to work out before you went in to get fitted for suits.
Yeah, but that's not I didn't want to go.
We told you that you shouldn't do that, by the way. We were very much like, you cannot go get fitted for a suit if you have sweaty balls. We did say that.
You guys have seen me wear a suit in I don't know how many years, one time.
Jen didn't even see it.
I saw it at the door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We crossed paths.
One
We were
time,
going
and
in,
I
he was
wore
coming
it.
out.
Gabe, how long was I there?
Again.
Tops, 27 minutes.
I thought it was more 40.
Okay. All right, maybe. If you want to give yourself extra
40.
credit. You look great, though. You looked fantastic. The suit was fantastic.
Do not let him distract you from the task at hand.
Butter him up.
I have such a distinct memory of being some of the first people in the venue and Chewy just standing at the bar alone.
Well, you could have helped him out, Joshy.
Can I just
joined him.
Jen, don't answer this, okay? This is just for the guys. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Josh and Gabe, how much do you think a belt should cost?
I mean, if it's a really nice belt, I will say this. I think the most I ever spent on a belt was $75, and that's because it came from the Masters.
Josh?
Interestingly enough, I once got sort of bamboozled. Someone said, hey, here's a belt. We were getting fitted for stuff. And I said, ooh, that looks great. It fits nice. And I walked up there and said, holy smokes, $180.
$500 for a belt?
Oh, hold on.
Is it made out of boa constrictor?
What kind of material are we using here?
I mean, I was sitting there going $125 at the most. Now it's on me. I probably should have looked, right?
Sure. How many belts did you get?
We got to take a break.
No, we don't. We're good. What I think we've established here is at least parts of the suit story, right? Little trickle, little drizzle of the suit story here.
We'll get there.
Oh,
we're warming him up. We're just warming him up.
Wait till you guys hear the shoes.
Well, if they're made of the same material as the belt,
I'm starting to imagine.
Pretty good idea of where this thing is going. All right, I feel good about the progress we've made, Gabe. How do you feel?
I really thought we were going to break through there, but we're going to have to just start. The dam's starting to break.
Together.
The dam is starting to break. That's all I'm saying.
I will tell you this: every single day in the YouTube stream, in the comments, or on the Carbless Talk and text line, 800-990-3776, less is more. Somebody says, are we going to get the suit story today? And I feel like if you're listening right now, you're optimistic. We've made some progress. Be right back after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
All right, well, looks like we've got an issue on northbound 43 at Hampton. They may have to close off some lanes. There's some debris in the roadway. Can't tell if it's like tire debris. Not sure. Anyway, it's still slow from Hampton all the way down past the Locust area. Northbound's backed up from Fond du Lac Avenue up past North Avenue. On southbound 4394, we've got a crash at Howard Avenue. It's been there all morning, but no delays really with that. The northbound side, though, is slowing down right around the Plainfield curve up towards Oklahoma Avenue. And then an accident on 94 westbound at Moreland Road should just about be all cleared out of the way. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, increasing clouds, mild and breezy, afternoon rain likely, a high of 51. Tonight, scattered rain, isolated thunder showers, mostly cloudy and breezy, a low of 37. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family-owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HB Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
Well, you can't say we didn't try. We're working on it. We're going to get there. I feel very confident that we are going to get there.
I would just go as far as say we didn't even fail there.
You're
We
tipping
tried.
the
We
fridge.
weren't quite successful, but we also did not fail.
But I think people are kind of getting an idea where it's going.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I got a text on the private talking text line. Turns out we've got some people who are starting to figure out
I could just say this. The calculations in my head were way off.
I was going to say, when I discovered the information regarding this, I was floored. So whatever you got in your mind, triple it.
Yeah, so folks are weighing in on the Carbless Talking text line. John in MKE says, sounds like Chewy bought a few suits for $4,000 a pop. And then Ben says...
Oh, well, I will say this, Jen. I got 20% off.
I didn't know that part. I had no idea.
And then it says, so between the belts and the shoes, we're already up to $2,000, says Ben in the 414. So yes, people out there are doing some math. But as Joshy said, you might want to be using your times tables on this one as opposed to the addition symbol. We're talking about the Bears and Packers, that game this weekend, of course, a big game, lots of emotion behind it. We've talked a little bit about what has been said at the podium. And listen, folks, yes, we're trying. Folks are like, are we going to get this story or what? We're working on it, okay? You're a little skittish, if we're being honest, right, Chew? Because you're afraid that admitting what you did and how it was received by the home front,
Well, I will say that Angie calls her dad 1972 Bob because he thinks everything today should cost like it does. Put me at 1996, which would be fair.
I think it's tremendous.
1996 Mark.
Yeah. All right, we need to. I'm sweating.
Moving on.
Let's move on.
We've sufficiently got Chewy uncomfortable. It's time to talk a little more football.
Twice. This and the picture are the only times I've ever seen this man uncomfortable. Yes. That is it. He has walked past me reeking like nothing you have ever smelled before, and he's proud of that. So that's what it takes for this man to be uncomfortable.
To be embarrassed. All right, let's get to Jeff Hafley, because obviously this is a guy's name who's been brought up multiple times when it comes to the coaching searches. We all know that there are a number of openings. I think it was 7 at last check in the NFL. And there are people who think that Jeff Hafley will be a head coach in the league. Well, Jeff Hafley was asked about that yesterday, right, Joshy? Here's what he had to say about his attention on, yes, his long-term goals in the industry, but also what he has in front of him.
I'll tell you this, it's hearing my name out there, that's obviously extremely flattering and very humbling, right? And I think when you work for an organization like the Packers and have a head coach like Matt and players like we do and a defensive staff like we do, I'm just honored to be in those. I think right now with all that stuff, it can be a distraction, so I'm trying to lock in on these playoffs and do the best that we can. And then whenever that time comes, we'll figure it out and go from there. But extremely honored and flattered. Just to be mentioned, and you asked me that question. But for right now, this is the Bears. I mean, this is one of the biggest rivalries in all of football, one that I have watched for a very long time. Did not end the way we wanted to the last time we played there. So I am going to do everything in my power to focus on every minute that I have to give this organization and our players everything I got to go win this game.
My gosh, this guy, I mean, every time he steps in front of a microphone, I'm ready to run through a brick wall for him.
I don't know how he doesn't ace any interview that he ends up giving in the head coaching cycle. But he had also talked about, the last time they played the Bears. He thought they played 59 minutes of pretty good defense, and it wasn't good enough. So it ends up being a teaching moment about how it needs to be. We hear that all the time. It needs to be the full 60 minutes. And I mean, there's a way to do it. Yes, this can be a distraction, but you look at what the Philadelphia Eagles did last year. Kellen Moore's name kept coming up, and Kellen Moore ended up getting a head coaching job after the Super Bowl. So that's the example I would use of somebody who had to deal with this all throughout their playoff run a year ago for Philadelphia and still found a way to be successful. And I trust in Hafley, even though that distraction is out there. And Chew, I know you had to live through that distraction in 98 before Holmgren left. Hell, you had to deal with it in 97 because that's when those rumors had started as you guys were making your second Super Bowl run around Holmgren wanting to be both a head coach and general manager, probably somewhere else because Ron wasn't going anywhere. So there are still ways that even though that distraction exists, he and the defense can still be successful on Saturday.
I agree, but kind of have to grade them on a scale. I don't care what you say. They were playing without their two best receivers. So if the Packers are playing without Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, it's a little different offense you're facing, okay? Because Odunze is going to play and Burden's going to play. Those are their 1 and 2. So this isn't just going to be DJ Moore and Loveland at tight end. He's going to have to play this a little bit different than he did the last game. And I have confidence in him, but the task is going to be a little tougher.
Let me ask you this, Chew. You talk
by
about
the way,
grading
Evan
on a
Williams
curve.
also did not play for the Packers, so it's going to be difference for the
No,
Packers
I agree.
defense as well.
I mean,
And I want to
pretty
get-
much both teams are at full strength.
I want to get to what Evan Williams said as well because I thought it was very insightful when he was talking about Hafley and the way that Hafley has coached them over the season and how it allows them to play freely. But when you talk about grading on a curve, doesn't Hafley get graded on a curve for losing Micah Parsons? Right? Like, that was the key ingredient to this soup, and he lost the key ingredient. And has he made something that is as tasty? No, but still been pretty. You can swallow it, right? Like, to use the metaphor of
I don't know if you can. The last time we had the starters out there, it was as bad as I can remember.
Well, let me ask you this then. Does his reputation take a hit for not being able to put something, as you're saying, out as appetizing as it was when one of the best defensive players in the league was there?
I would think so. Now, again, against the Bears, it was good. Against the Ravens, it wasn't as good. But if you're a team looking for a head coach and he's going to call your defensive plays, wherever he's going, it's not going to have Micah Parsons, right?
Yeah, but let me ask you this.
So you have to figure out a way to be – and look, they're not going to be as good without Micah. It's just not possible. But they didn't have Micah last year, and they still put together a pretty good fight against the Philadelphia Eagles in that playoff game. So you still have to find a way to not give up 300 yards on the ground the way that you did against the Ravens. Because even if the Bears rush for 200 yards, that's probably going to be the end of your season. You've got to be better against the run, and he's got to find those answers.
But back to Hafley being a head coach next year, and we all think there's a possibility of him doing what Ben Johnson did because he had opportunities 2 years ago to become a head coach. He said, no, I want to make one more run at it with Detroit. You think the fact that Micah Parsons, we anticipate being out for the first 6 games, kind of that goes by the wayside?
I don't know.
Are you saying that would Micah Parsons coming back convince Jeff Hafley to stay in Green Bay as the defensive coordinator and spurn, right?
No. I'm
Any
saying
head coaching
the other way because
the
Micah's
fact
not
that
going
he's
to be
going to be
there.
out for 6 games and you're not going to have him for a third of the season.
You think would that accelerate his moving on?
No,
I don't think so. I guess it depends upon the job. Like if the, I'm trying to think of like if the Browns offer Hafley the job, I don't know if he takes it or if he goes, there's probably something better because there's a lot of Deshaun Watson's getting charged $80 million, right? That cap hit is there and it's all guaranteed money, so it's hard to wiggle your way out of what that cap charge is going to be this year for the Browns. So if the Browns offer the job, I don't know. If the Giants offer the job, he's gone.
What about Baltimore?
If Baltimore offers the job, he gone.
And Baltimore is typically a defensive. The first thing you do when you think of Baltimore from years past is, okay, this is a defensive.
Well, especially the Super Bowl win.
Yeah. But again, for all intents, there are 7 jobs open right now, but for all intents and purposes, he's only going to get 5 of those because
correct.
Harbaugh and Stefanski are going to get hired before him.
Yeah.
So, but maybe he wows because Baltimore is one of the jobs that obviously Harbaugh can't get. So maybe he wows them in Baltimore if he gets an opportunity there.
But again, to go back to what we said when we started this conversation, he's going to. right? Every time we hear
wow,
from
yeah.
this guy,
Yes.
he says the right thing. It's passionate. It's relevant. It's just you're very excited to hear what he has to say about any given topic. And I want to get to what he has said, the message he has sent to the defensive players. And you tell me what your reaction to this is, okay? Evan Williams said, one thing Hafley says a lot in our meetings leading up to games is, let the mistakes be on us. Any mental mistakes you make during the game, that means we didn't coach you enough. Don't think about that during the game. We want you playing fast, physical, holding our play still as long as you can. And Evan Williams said, me personally, that definitely allowed me to play a lot more free, took the worry of, I'm going to make the wrong play here off of my shoulders. Brilliant. Right? Because most coaches are going, no, that wasn't me. We coached them to do it differently, and they just bleeped up on the field. And Evan Williams is saying, no. Hafley's going, if you make a mental mistake on the field, which most people would go, that's on the player, Coach Hafley is saying, that's on me. And I love this psychology, Gabe. I really do.
Yeah. Now, there are instances where he can't cover for everyone at all times because he started the press conference talking about the mental mistake that Keyshawn Nixon made the last time they played the Chicago Bears. Tough to cover for the player in that instance, right? You can't always cover for the player when it's painfully obvious to the world what just happened.
Yeah.
But, Chew, how great would that have been if you had a coach who said, listen,
I love it.
You go out there and make a mental mistake, that's not on you, that's on us.
And Andy Reid always told me, he's like, if you're not sure what you're doing or you're out there, just do whatever it is 110%. And my worry against the Bears is more of effort than it is assignment, you know.
But that's only one player you're worried about.
No, not really.
Rashawn?
It's just like,
who else is showing that they're not giving the requisite effort?
Obviously, I said it yesterday or the day before. I'm very concerned about the run game because if the Bears can run the ball, it's going to be a different deal, which goes to your defensive line. And when I was watching End Zone Boy break this down, I mean, these double teams, they had D linemen 3 yards down the field. Now, I don't know if that's a lack of effort or you just aren't very good or the guy across from you is that much better than you, but that cannot happen again. You know, you have to be stout at the point of attack. And if you're not, and he broke it down very well. He's like, okay, contact was made with the running back for the Bears at 4 yards, and then the pile was winding up at 7 or 8 yards. That can't happen. Because 2nd and 3 is so easy, you know. 2nd and 8 or 2nd and 7, you still got a fighting chance. 2nd and 3, you have no chance. And there were a lot of those. So I don't know if you want to call that effort or whatever you want to call it, but I'm just saying that can't happen.
What's your concern level when I tell you this, guys? The Bears are 10-1 when they win the turnover battle this season. This is the Packers defense that hasn't had as many turnovers as we thought that they were going to have as we continue talking about Jeff Hafley and his impact on this squad.
So I was looking at those turnover numbers as well, Jen. They're 2-6 when they only get one turnover. One or less turnovers, the Bears are 2-6. So they need to get multiple turnovers. So you can make that one mistake the way Jordan did in the first game, and you can still go on and win the way that they did in that first game. And, I mean, we saw it against San Francisco. They got a pick 6 to start off that game. And they still gave up 42 points. And Jordan's good at avoiding those turnovers. Now, the ones that he has are, what the hell was that? But it doesn't typically happen multiple times in a game. So if you clean up the turnovers, I don't know if you necessarily need to force the turnovers to get to play even with them because they need multiple turnovers in order to have the success that they've had this year.
But it's not like the Packers haven't had opportunities. They had one against Minnesota where it hit the DB right in the breadbasket, and he dropped it.
Yeah, Chew. Unfortunately, I think that's happened at least once a game for like the last 4 or 5.
Yeah, and that we all know how turnovers can determine the outcome of a game.
Well, and the Bears have the most takeaways in the NFL this season at 33. That according to ESPN stats and information. So again, while we're talking about the Packers defense, we're talking about opportunities to get an edge in this game against the Bears. I think you have to sort of circle and highlight takeaways.
I think as long as you avoid the turnovers, like I'm not relying on the Packers to get takeaways because that hasn't been a strength of this defense. But if Caleb throws you one, we talked about that after Micah went down. You can't have those plays because Micah's not there to erase them if you don't make them. Like, if Caleb gives you an opportunity, you got to take advantage. But I don't think that's going to be as big of a, because again, the Bears rely on it so much as a defense. They need multiple turnovers, and Jordan's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at not throwing interceptions.
All right. Last word, apparently. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. What do we got to get to today? What is today? Thursday?
Yep. 8 at 8.
I was
Damn it, Chew.
Thank you.
We had the opportunity to just see if she was going to get it.
Stumper.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. I appreciate you,
Too
pal.
nice of a guy.
Yeah. That's what I say about Chew all the time. What a nice guy.
After she tried to excavate the suit story.
Oh, I was doing it singularly? That was a solo mission, was it?
I think my microphone stopped working that
We
segment.
didn't discuss it during the break or anything? I was talking to myself, I suppose.
You decided, hey, I'm going to grab the ball and try to score here.
I think we did a pretty good job, again, excavating some details. Folks are starting to pick up the scent.
Guys, I'm telling you, if you're getting ready to propose, of course, you already know what I'm going to say. The Jewelry Center, it's the only place to go for the ring. They're the go-to spot for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. It's what I did. Of course, it's what I did. Because it was the only place. I've known Dean the Dancing Machine at the Jewelry Center for years. And the teams that he has put together in Greenfield, Brookfield, Burlington, and Mequon, they're unbelievable. They're always going to point you in the right direction. That's, to me, what separates the Jewelry Center from everybody else. Now, maybe you don't know what your significant other's looking for in a ring. But if she's got a Pinterest board, bring that into the Jewelry Center. The specialists take it from there and make the whole process easy. Naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, whatever you're in the market for, they've got it. Again, this can be a stressful process, but the Jewelry Center makes it easy. Check out the inventory at one of the 4 locations, Greenfield, Brookfield, Burlington, and Mequon, or online, shop TJC.com. Best place for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee. It's the Jewelry Center.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
All right. Well, it looks like we've got an issue on northbound 43 at Hampton. They may have to close off some lanes. There's some debris in the roadway. Can't tell if it's like tire debris. Not sure. Anyway, it's still slow from Hampton all the way down past the Locust area. Northbound's backed up from Fond du Lac Avenue up past North Avenue. On southbound 4394, we got a crash at Howard Avenue. It's been there all morning, but no delays really with that. The northbound side, though, is slowing down right around the Plainfield curve up towards Oklahoma Avenue. And then an accident on 94 westbound at Moreland Road should just about be all cleared out of the way. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, increasing clouds, mild and breezy, afternoon rain likely, a high of 51. Tonight, scattered rain, isolated thunder showers, mostly cloudy and breezy, a low of 37. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Nobody should be writing the season off. The idea of being one of the top teams without 2 of your best players is a big reach. But this is a season that you can find ways to do it.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
You think anybody ever feels sorry for the Green Bay Packers? They don't. And they shouldn't. And you shouldn't.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Make your next activation or event a slam dunk with Captivate Exhibits, your leader in transforming spaces and creating brand experiences that truly stand out and connect. If you can dream it, Captivate can design it, build it, and activate it. From trade shows and events to enhancing interior spaces like your lobby, history wall, or break room, Captivate Exhibits turns ideas into highlight reels. With over 32 years of award-winning experience, Captivate delivers every time, always beating the buzzer. Get started with your next big idea today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior Pros and Baths. New year, new home, done right.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
You're going to be happy, happy, happy.
and with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
Or a better diamond.
Or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
TBD.
No, not how this
Attaboy.
works.
Attaboy.
That's not how any of this
That's
works.
how you make content.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's how it works for him.
What's TBD mean?
To be determined.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
To be dumb. Did you hear him say to be dumb?
To be done. Did Joshy say that?
He did.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating three. You know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration, and it's the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxurious seating, great food, a fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Maybe someone here on the show will be watching a few college football playoff games at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Can't be sure, but if you want to become a legend, you can do it at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. More information, of course, available online. Must be 21 years old to enter the casino.
The top 8 at 8.
Name something that follows the word pork. You pie. Huh?
One category.
Name something people take with them to the beach. Turkey.
The top 8 answers.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8.
A food often stuffed. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken! Oh my God!
Show me chicken!
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
All right, Gabe, what do we got?
List of 8 things in front of me. You and Chew guess back and forth. Once you each get one incorrect, we open up to the fans. 800-990-3776. The category today. And the last time the Packers played the Bears in the playoffs was the 2010 NFC Championship game. There are 8 players in that game for the Packers that either had a rushing attempt or a reception. Name those 8 players.
Oh, boy. So this was the NFC Championship game right before they went to the Super Bowl and won it against the Steelers. All right, archiving Chew. I almost said Chase. Hey, shout out to Chase, by the way. It's his 17th birthday today, Chase. My kiddo.
birthday.
Yeah. 17's a weird one because, like, 16, ooh, you get to drive. 18, ooh, you get to, I don't know, do scratch-off tickets or something? I don't know, something. 17's like this weird space. Anyway, sorry, I almost called you Chase. Rushing or, say it again?
A rushing attempt or a reception. 8 players had a rushing attempt or a reception.
That's a good list. I have to go first, huh?
I'll go.
Unless Chewy wants to.
Greg Jennings. No, he's not on there.
No, Greg Jennings is on the list.
yeah.
But I thought we just decided Chewy went, and then it seems like you panicked and just said a name. But yes, Greg Jennings had a heck of a game
When
that
I
day.
saw your face, I was like, there's no way Greg Jennings did not have.
Greg Jennings had 8 catches for 130 yards in that game. So yes, Greg Jennings is on the list.
La. Let's go with Gordy.
Jordy Nelson had 4 catches for 67 yards in that game.
It's funny because I am using the Sports Illustrated cover to remind me of who all was on that roster that season, because obviously those were their offensive weapons. Why can't I remember anything else? Say it one more time, please.
In the 2010 NFC Championship game against the Bears, 8 players had a rushing attempt or a reception. Name those players.
Oh.
You have Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson.
Okay, so would it count? Shoot, I don't know. Joshy, I need a judgment here. The B.J. Raji touchdown was in that game, was it not?
It's not going to count as an attempt.
That's what I thought.
That's an interception.
Darn it.
I got one.
So there's interesting language here that would include somebody you probably wouldn't normally think of.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
All right, go ahead, Chew.
Well, I'm not going to say his name, but I'll go with another name.
What do you mean you're not going to say his name?
Voldemort?
Josh, what should I do?
Just say it.
Because I got another obscure.
Well, then go obscure.
Starks.
James Starks.
James Starks had 22 carries for 74 yards
Jonathan
and a
Starks.
touchdown. Also had a reception for 6 yards.
Famously.
So James Starks on the list.
Well, that's who I was going to guess next, so blast it.
How about the quarterback, Jen?
Do I have to?
Sure.
Why not? Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers had 7 rushing attempts, 39 yards, and a touchdown in the game against the Chicago Bears.
All right, who do we have so far?
You have Aaron Rodgers, you have James Starks, you have Greg Jennings, and Jordy Nelson. You have half of the list of the 8 players that had a rushing attempt or reception against the Bears in the 2010 NFC Championship game.
Chew, you got another one?
Corliss?
Ooh.
Andrew Corliss had 3 targets, but no receptions in the game.
The fact that you remember that Corliss was on the roster.
He's
tight end. I know, tight end you. I gotcha.
Yeah. But I remember Jermichael was hurt. So.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about Double D? What about Donald Driver?
Donald Driver. 1 catch for 9 yards in the game.
Jeez Louise.
So he is one of those players. So we just have 3 remaining.
Did you say fullback?
I did.
Did you say it out loud or did you say it in my ear?
Said in your ear.
Dang it.
Come on, Chewy. Come on.
Well, that would.
Josh is trying to help you out behind
Just
the
so you know,
scenes,
it sounds exactly the same, okay? When you said it out loud.
The music goes off, and it's just in your ear. Gabe's voice gets silenced.
Can you just roll with it for goodness sakes? Man. John Kuhn.
John Kuhn had 1 rushing attempt for 2 yards, also had a reception for 6 yards in that game. Just 2 left on the list. 8 players had a rushing attempt or reception in the 2010 NFC Championship game.
I think you could close this out if you really try.
What makes you think we're not really trying?
The fact that the Aaron Rodgers one didn't jump to everyone's mind right away.
I just feel like I've blocked him. Mentally, I've just blocked him. Chew, you got any more? I know you guessed Corliss, so you're technically out, but do you have any more?
It's got to be a runner.
Well, who
That
else
would
were
be
the
my
running
guess.
backs for that team? You said James
have
Starks, and
no
he had
idea.
the bulk of the responsibilities in that postseason run. And John Kuhn we mentioned as a fullback. Was it the I think he was the kid from Nebraska. What was that kid's name?
Lawrence Phillips?
What? No. Short little guy.
There's 1996 Mark coming out again.
You're on a good path here. I don't know if you're going to get there.
Like, just again, this is having to really go back into the archives here, man.
It was a very short stint. I shouldn't say
Turner
very short.
Gill?
It was.
All right. I need an answer.
Am I
We're not
on the
just gonna
right
sit
track?
here-
Joshy said I'm on the right
Yeah,
track.
but we just can't sit here as you try to think of it.
You told me to try harder. This is me trying harder. Oh, gosh. What was that kid's name?
800-990-3776. We just need 2 more. players that had a reception or a rushing attempt in the 2010 NFC Championship
I've been
game.
so busy trying to think about the running back. What about the did anyone say James Jones?
Nobody has said James Jones.
James Jones.
James Jones had a reception for 10 yards.
But what was the name of that running back? 800-990-37. It's not going to come to me. Like, I can see him. I can picture him. Like, I can describe him to you if you wanted.
Like Rozier.
What?
You're going the other way, man.
All right, Joshy, what do we got?
Let's go to Dan in Sheboygan here first.
Good morning, Dan. Who's the running back I can't think of?
Isn't this not the infamous game of Randall Cobb catching that glorious touchdown?
No.
It is not. It is not. That game happened in 2013. That was a de facto NFC North championship game, but this was an actual playoff game when the Super Bowl was on the line. Randall Cobb not on the team yet in 2010.
800-990-3776. It looks like John in Milwaukee is up next for Top 8 at 8. Can you complete our Top 8 at 8 list?
Try to help you out here, Jen. Brandon Jackson.
There you go.
It isn't. That's exactly who I was
Carries for
picturing.
5 yards, 1 catch for 16 yards. Brandon Jackson, the 8th player on this list.
Brandon Jackson did go to Nebraska.
He did. Yes, he absolutely went to Nebraska.
Darn it. I could picture
I
his
thought you were
face.
going to get there. I almost
We'll
thought you
give you an
said
assist.
Brandon. Like, I felt like you were ready to say the name Brandon for a minute there.
Well, maybe my brain was like, come on, Jen. You've got this. Don't embarrass yourself
The
again.
Packers have also a seemingly long history of running backs that had very short stints. They all sort of had similar body types, too, and they barely played for, like, a couple seasons, and they were in and out. And some are injuries, some were just, frankly, not that good for any other reason.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers...
Remember they used to have that third down back. That was their thing. Who was number... I remember another guy. This is kind of like... Remember in that James Starks was kind of that guy?
The one I think of all the time, and his time was very short and it was injury shortened, was Jonathan Franklin from UCLA.
Jonathan Franklin was another one. There's another guy.
There's Alex Green from Hawaii.
Alex Green from Hawaii.
Yeah. We're missing one, though.
You guys have any idea
Like
what
Ty
Brandon
Montgomery?
Jackson, former NFL player, is up to now?
I know he had a podcast at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
He is the running backs coach at Austin Peay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Who would have thought?
He did lead the Packers in rushing for that entire regular season. He had 700 rushing yards.
Which is crazy because, again, Starks was like the guy in the postseason,
Yeah,
right?
because
like they were just
Starks wasn't available during the regular season because he was hurt, and then at the end of the regular season he came on, and then in that Eagles game to start the playoff run, everyone's like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
And you could not have had two more different body type running backs than James Starks and Brandon Jackson. I'm never going to forget that guy's name now. That's going to be seared
Wasn't there
into the memory.
Tony Fisher was that third down back.
Oh man, that's from the early 2000s. Yeah,
that is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that back?
yeah. But
Okay.
Tony Fisher was a third down back. Yeah,
Yeah.
from Notre Dame.
Yep. Good guy.
If I look up list of Packers running backs all time, first of all, Tony Fisher is not one that would have come
Well,
to mind.
no, he's not going to be anywhere near the top of the list in terms of production.
Well, that's the thing. I don't really want production. I just want a comprehensive list. Because to your point, Shu, they always do have guys who are just sort of workhorses, right? And Josh, you were saying like they're kind of there. There's a blip. They have an impact, and then whoop, they slide out the back door, side door, whatever. Don't. Just don't.
Wasn't going to do anything.
You said it. Why are you yelling at us?
I was anticipating the commentary from the peanut gallery.
Or at least let us comment first. Could I gotten a couple jokes
That's
off?
what the point was. Don't.
Gabe, can I interest you in a Deshaun Wynn?
Oh, yeah. Deshaun Wynn, out of Florida, I want to say. I want to say Deshaun Wynn was out of Florida.
Look that up. Florida, correct.
Nice.
How
Noah
far down
Herron?
on the list
Oh,
do you
Noah
want to go?
Herron.
Yep.
Noah Herron was more of a special
No,
teams guy.
oh yeah, I remember that blast from your past.
Oh, man.
Juwan Harris. I love DeJuan Harris.
Oh, great dreads. Just flowing out of the helmet as he's running past people.
So you can go on Pro Football Reference and you can pull up a comprehensive list of every single running back that has ever suited up for the Green Bay Packers. And then you can, what I just did, you can have it sort by date. So if we go back into the 90s and the 2000s, is that where you were?
Yeah, I'm just actually scrolling the list here. Kristen Michael.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Brandon
we haven't,
Sane.
Especially since we were just talking about backdoors. I'm surprised we haven't talked about Najee Davenport.
You son of a biscuit.
Is he 2 on the list? See, you started it, Jen. You have no reason to be mad at it.
Don't forget about Cedric Benson.
Oh,
Jonathan Franklin.
Texas. Yeah,
You guys mentioned
Texas.
Alonzo Harris, right? John Crockett. Again, these are all running backs who have suited up for the Green Bay Packers. Don Jackson in 2016.
Old Don's not ringing a bell.
No.
No.
Jamal Williams, obviously.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
Bibbs. Anybody remember a Bibbs? Capri?
Yeah, Capri Bibbs.
Bibbs.
Good Lord. Dexter Williams, Tyler Irvin. Don't forget about Swervin' Irvin.
Remember the offense fell apart
because they couldn't do the jet sweep motion.
Kylan Hill, 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Kenyon Drake. One carry. Anyway, that's a fun little game.
Just naming random dudes.
Just naming
it is
random.
the best game. It is one of my favorite
Just naming
games.
random dudes.
Sitting
who
around
have
the bar, have a couple pops, start naming random dudes.
toted the rock for the Green Bay Packers. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Roll on right after this.
Hey guys, if you feel like you're running on empty, Mentality Health is here to help. They can help you if you're dealing with low testosterone. Well, how do you know? Well, maybe you've got low energy and motivation. Maybe you have some fatigue. You just feel like you're tired all the time. You got a little bit of weight gain, maybe a little bit of muscle loss, and you're just thinking, it's part of the aging process. But it doesn't have to be that way. Mentality is a local healthcare facility specializing in helping men feel and perform at their very best. They focus on free testosterone levels, which a lot of doctors can overlook, ensuring your treatment is tailored to your body. That's my favorite part of working with Mentality. It's not like you show up, they go, yep, here's what you need, see you later. No, it is a tailored solution for you and your low testosterone to make sure that your levels are constantly where they need to be. So don't let low testosterone hold you back. Be at your best for yourself and your family. Have that energy come roaring back. Burn off that belly fat and feel like yourself again. Confident, driven, and ready to tackle life. Head over to the website, mentalityhealth.com/radio. mentalityhealth.com/radio to find out how to book an appointment.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we still have an accident on 43 southbound the Rock Freeway, just past Highway 100. It's off on the right shoulder, so just be careful if you're heading through that area. Otherwise, we've got westbound 94 backing up from 27th Street to Hawley Road, eastbound slowing down from 84th Street almost to Hawley Road, and then again coming out of the stadium interchange. Eastbound 894, we've got backups from Forest Home all the way to Loomis. The westbound side is actually looking okay, and we do still have this accident up on the board, 4394 southbound right at Howard Avenue off on the left shoulder. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds, mild breezy, afternoon rain likely with a high of 51. Tonight, scattered rain with isolated thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, breezy, a low of 37. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Your New Year routine just got a major refresh thanks to Carbless. Staying mindful? Carbless has 0 sugar and 0 carbs. Watching calories? We've got you covered. Still want something bold and delicious? Well, that's our specialty at Carbless. Whether you're out celebrating or settling into post-holiday goals, Carbless keeps things light, fun, and completely guilt-free. Start your 2026 with flavor and no compromise. Celebrate the new year with bold flavor, 0 guilt, and a drink that keeps things light. Happy New Year from Carbless. Let's make your new year feel flawless.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Rich Eisen here. LinkedIn Jobs is stepping things up with their new AI assistant so you can feel confident you're finding top talent. Get this. Employees hired through LinkedIn are 30% more likely to stick around for at least a year compared to those hired through the leading competitor. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen, then promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. And promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I don't know which is which, but here's what I do.
Yes, all right.
I take the plus and I put it to the plus. I take the minus and I put it to the minus.
Yeah, but the jacker things don't have the...
Yeah, they do.
Where?
Sure do. On the handles.
What's a jacker thing? Is it something that your wife keeps in the drawer?
He meant jumper cables.
On 94.5 ESPN.
College football playoffs continue tonight. You got Ole Miss. You got Miami. Tomorrow night, you got Oregon. You got Indiana. There was some conversation about what was the best story. Gabe, you and I don't know if we disagree on it, but I think Indiana is far and away the best story, but you make a case for Ole Miss as well.
Yeah, Ole Miss is, it's going to be a lot of fun. The job that Golding has done down there, that Pete Golding, since taking over, he doesn't know who's going to be on his staff from week to week because he doesn't know who he's losing to LSU. He's gotten their top 2 players to commit next year, so he signed their top 2 players. Now, Trinidad Chambliss still has to get a waiver processed by the NCAA to get a 6th year of eligibility. He's been able to hit the transfer portal, doing all of those things while also winning 2 college football playoff games is, I think it's pretty cool for Ole Miss.
And then there is this story out of Washington about their quarterback who says he's entering the transfer portal. Well, no big shock there, right? Guys are entering the transfer portal left and right. The number of people who are in the transfer portal is off the charts as we continue in this new era of college football. The problem with this young man, and I don't know, is his name Demond? Demond Williams Jr. Chew, is that he signed a contract with Washington when they gave him $4 million of NIL money. That's what Pete Thamel is reporting. It's in the $4 million range. And that's near the top of the market. So when he enters the transfer portal, he is essentially in breach of contract.
Because the contract specifically says he cannot re-enter the transfer portal.
How do you think this all shakes out?
He'll lose the $4 million, right?
There's got to be more than that, though, right? There's got to be some punishment, some penalization for I saw it for breaking the contract. It can't just be like, well,
who?
And that's kind of becomes the issue. Now, they might have a better chance at this holding up in court. Now, when this happened with Wisconsin, because Xavier Lucas had signed an NIL deal and then he transferred to Miami and didn't go through the transfer
Badgers
portal,
tried to
right?
enforce
Yep.
that as well.
But I think the difference here, at least as I've been trying to figure out the story, is Xavier Lucas, that was like an NIL deal only. This also, I believe, include the revenue share. So that $20 million that everybody, hypothetically has as part of the revenue share to spend on college athletes in addition to that every school should have. I think that is what is ultimately going to become more enforceable, because that seems like more of a legally binding contract with the university instead of NIL rights.
If they want to enforce it, I think they should enforce the same thing on head coaches. Can't leave. Lane Kiffin can't go. Why are the kids having to operate under different circumstances? Because you changed the terms and you said, well, you have to stay there because we said so and because you signed this rev sharing deal?
The contract has to mean something, right? Otherwise, what are we doing?
Oh, the only place contracts don't mean anything is college athletics. It's literally the only place. Because like Josh, you said, don't mean anything because look at Lane Kiffin. He's still profiting off of Ole Miss because he negotiated into his contract.
Well, that contract apparently holds up.
Yes.
If you were Ole Miss, wouldn't you be like, actually, I know you signed a deal. I know we signed a deal that we would pay you the more success that Ole Miss has, but we changed our mind.
But this previous contract with Ole Miss obviously didn't mean anything because you got people who are willing to buy out your contract for you.
Okay, so if you're this kid and you guys are telling me that, yes, technically it's against the rules, but nobody's going to enforce it, why not? Right. And why doesn't this then open up the floodgates for guys to just be doing this over and over and over again? Not specifically one guy, but many guys. It doesn't, right?
No. And again, that's why I'm curious to see how this plays out in the legal system and whether or not, again, the rev share part of it ends up being more enforceable than the NIL portion for Xavier Lucas.
I don't know how the rev share stuff can work if you're not a collectivized unit. Like if it's
a union or
that to me is where it starts to fall apart. And who's going to enforce what, and who's going to stop him from saying, "Yeah, I know I signed a contract and I'm supposed to not be able to go to X, Y, or Z, but guess what? I'm there now. What are you going to do?"
I've already talked a little bit. Maybe Gabe and I were offlining about the cloak and dagger element of the new transfer portal and how coaches, while they're bringing in transfer portal guys to chat with, they're also trying to make sure that their current roster players don't know who's on campus, who they're wooing, who they're trying to bring in. Because guess what? You find out that they're bringing in a defensive end and you play defensive end, then whoop, you jump into the transfer portal. This feels like it would accelerate that secrecy. Because not only now do you not want to know when you're bringing you don't want anyone else to know who you've got until there's some sort of like lockdown. Because otherwise, what's going to stop an LSU, who is the presumptive favorite to land this kid?
I can tell you this. They all know. They all know. Because the agents are so entrenched into this stuff. And you guys would be shocked. I mean, you talk about the quarterback. You guys would be shocked how much, offensive linemen are getting. Offensive linemen that are going to compete for a job.
Wait, I think I just saw this, actually. Obviously, quarterback is the top of the market, and those are anywhere. There are a few guys who are up above $5 million, which still blows my mind, but mostly about the $4 million, anywhere from $1 to $4 million. But I think I saw $1.5 million for offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
The kid at Indiana said he made upwards of
Coogan, the center who came from Notre Dame.
Yeah. And a lot of the kids who have now then not gone on to play in the NFL, they're not really shy about I have a lot of money. I was living a good life.
Well, that's why some of them stay.
Yeah. Why do you think Trinidad Chambliss wants that sixth year?
These kids are such
He's not going to
little...
make $5 million, $6 million in the NFL right away.
They're such
Although I suppose if you were
little...
a first rounder, the money would be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a first rounder.
They're such spoiled little brats. This is a guy who had to stretch his $40 per diem for about 3 weeks.
No, I know.
You know
just
what
because
I mean?
it sucked for you doesn't mean it should suck for
Yes,
everyone
all the
else.
thing that matters is me.
You haven't picked up on that yet, Josh? Come on, man.
Yeah.
He's made that obvious.
It's the uncomfortable truth that Joshy prefers to ignore. We'll take a break. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on right after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Faison who rises up, throws it down. Faison Fields is a man possessed.
Faison Fields and the Milwaukee Panthers men's basketball team take on Northern Kentucky this Friday. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. at Panther Arena. From clutch three-pointers to rim-rattling dunks to game-changing blocks, you'll experience all the action. Ticket prices start at just $23. Help tilt the floor this Friday at 7. Visit mkepanthers.com for tickets. Panther Athletics for the MKE.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Why Z-Bart? Because you don't want rust holes in your expensive vehicle. Let Z-Bart keep the rust away with professional rust protection. Only at Z-Bart.
As of right now, there's 7 head coaching vacancies in the NFL following the conclusion of the NFL regular season. A popular name to fill one of those slots, Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, who told reporters Wednesday, as of right now, it's all about the green and gold, at least until the season comes to a close.
I'm just honored to be in those. I think right now with all that stuff, it can be a distraction, so I'm trying to lock in on these playoffs and do the best that we can, and then whenever that time comes, we'll figure it out and go from there.
For this week, Hafley's focused on slowing down what was the NFL's third best rushing offense in the regular season in the Chicago Bears.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Do you want your car to shine like a diamond? Then you need Z-Gloss from Z-Bart. Z-Gloss gives you a mirror finish and protects your paint from everything Mother Nature can throw at it with a 10-year guarantee. Visit zbart.com for more information.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HAWK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HAWK to 321-321. That's HAWK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Gabe, it'll change your life. Any barbecue you eat for the rest of your life will be measured against Buc-ee's.
On 94.5 ESPN.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season is over, just like in the college football season, right? But on the ESPN app, it never really is because they've got more than 47,000 live events, originals, highlights, coverage from every corner of the sports world, so there is always something to dive into. There really is no off-season. You are always in season. Everything a fan needs to keep going, it's all on ESPN app, and you can download it today on your television or on your phone. Every week, our social media maven, Maddie Hayes, asks for our predictions for the games. Now, theoretically, we could hold this for tomorrow. But, Chew, if I'm picking up what you're putting down, it sounds like you think this might be a loss for the green and gold. Is that fair to say, or have you not made your decision yet?
Not yet, but I'm trending.
He's picking them to lose.
That direction.
He's picking them to lose.
I can tell you this, the last 4 weeks, I'm 4-0.
Well, because you've picked them to lose every week and they've lost every week.
Yes.
And did you pick them to lose every week because Micah Parsons is out and you feel like he's their only? What is it?
I picked them to lose against Denver, and obviously he was part of that. But ever since then, I have picked them to lose. I kind of like the fight they're putting up. I just can't tell if it's false chatter. How much false chatter there is? I don't think it's false chatter coming from Josh Jacobs, but.
What percentage of false chatter does our big guy give us?
Oh, 95.
What?
Might be 96.
He's like, why am I taking strays? There's 30 seconds left of the show.
They don't call him 1996 Mark for nothing.
There you go. Fair.
Will D. and Tosh is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great day, everybody.
Westbound 94, we got backups heading right through the stadium interchange to about Hawley Road, the eastbound side from 84th Street to Hawley. We've also got this crash on 4394 southbound. Hey, I'm not seeing it on the camera anymore. I believe it is gone at Howard Avenue. But if you happen to drive past it, it might be a little bit of a distraction. Other than that, really not seeing any other delays around the area.